Hello and welcome to another edition of Insight, the Greater Cleveland Partnership feature that clarifies and simplifies issues facing Northeast Ohio businesses. I'm your host, Steve Luttner, and joining me today is Nick Gattozzi, Vice President for Government Advocacy for the Greater Cleveland Partnership. Hi, Nick.
Hi, Steve.
Nick, you and I today are going to discuss immigration reform. Tell me, why is immigration reform important to the United States, and more specifically, why is it important to Northeast Ohio?
Sure. Immigration reform is important because it's about jobs and the economy. We know that we have jobs that are going unfilled in the United States, from low-skilled to high-skilled. The Greater Cleveland Partnership locally is focused on the high-skilled aspects of immigration reform, specifically the H-1B visa program. The Senate has passed a bill that increases their comprehensive bill increases the H-1B visa limit. The House, taking a multi-tiered approach, has passed a piece of legislation that also increases the number of H-1B visas, which we think is a positive not only for Northeast Ohio but for the nation.
Now, Nick, you and I were talking earlier. Are there a number of skilled jobs that are vacant in Greater Cleveland?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, there's over 7,000 high-skilled jobs that are going unfilled. Our community colleges are doing a great job. Our STEM education programs are doing a great job. But we know that those jobs, even with all those students in the pipeline, can't be filled locally, can't be filled nationally. And the best way to do that is to bring in immigrant labor, high-skilled immigrant labor that would fill those jobs, so that the actual job itself isn't being done offshore, it's being done here.
So these H-1B visas, they're aimed specifically at immigrants with skills, and Greater Cleveland Partnership would favor an expansion of that visa program. Is
Absolutely,
that right?
Absolutely.
Can you talk a little bit about these zones?
Sure, high-skilled immigration zones.
Yeah.
And this is a concept that we have put forward that would take an allocation of that increased number of H-1B visas based on unemployment compared to the national average. And so today, it would benefit Cleveland, Detroit, other areas in the Great Lakes, but tomorrow might benefit California, Texas, Colorado.
Now, Nick, you spend a lot of time in Washington on behalf of the Greater Cleveland Partnership and its members. What's the likelihood that something like this, immigration reform measure, is going to move forward?
Sure. Well, it's certainly a challenging environment in Washington, D.C. right now. With regards to immigration reform, just last week, Speaker Boehner indicated that the House would not take up the Senate-passed comprehensive bill and would prefer the piece-by-piece approach that they've taken in the House. We're waiting on 2 more pieces of legislation, 7 in total, and those still have to be passed on the House floor. So as I've described it, it's going to take a lot of time. Yeah. And every day that gets crossed off the calendar is a day closer to the congressional midterm elections. And as we know, members don't like to take tough votes, and they certainly don't like to take them in a campaign year.
Political rigor mortis sets in.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you, Steve.
And thanks for joining us once again for another edition of Insight. In the weeks and months to come, the Greater Cleveland Partnership will explore more issues that pertain to Northeast Ohio businesses. Thanks again.